What is going on? It is Wednesday night. You know what that means. We are live. We are coming at you, and we will be reviewing AEW Dynamite. I am your host, Dan the Man, along with my co-hosts, Evil Dose. What is going on?
Yeah, what's shaking, everybody? This was this was a show. This
It was a
was a
show.
show.
It was a show. And tonight we also do have a very special guest. We have the executive consultant joining us. This is an honor and a privilege.
I like to think so too. It's an honor and privilege for me to be on AEW. I mean, I saw such fun from last week, and I said, "Hey, I got to get a piece of that." So I'm over here joining here with Dan the Man, Evil Dose. I must have scared Vinny LaSpata off, but that's fine. I can be Vinny LaSpata. I'm sure I can come up with some outrageous claims.
You might have scared him.
Another week without Mercedes Monet, but we have our own boss time.
We do. We have our own boss time, and you know, I don't know, but rumor has it that that Vinny may be showing up. So you got to stay tuned to see what happens.
Don't want to miss that.
We cannot. Oh boy, alert the press. But let's go ahead and let's jump into the action here. So we're starting off with a very interesting throwback type of match for the TNT title. We are getting Christian Cage against the natural Dustin Rhodes. And let me tell you, this was a throwback to the old school WWF Attitude Era. I think this could get anyone from the age of 30 to about 60 to pop. For good reasons, I don't know. But the fact is, this is a gimmicky type of match that you can march out there and you can get people to somewhat tune in for. I wasn't the biggest fan of them doing this, but this is what we do have, and the match was not that bad. What do you think, Evil Dose?
I agree with you. This was entirely a throw-up match because both these guys are so old that they have acid reflux and bad tummies. This was 25 minutes of pain, and the only thing that anybody needs to know about this match is that there was towards the end there was a spot where Christian was working on the turnbuckle to get it off, and while he wasn't able to get the turnbuckle off, both of his goons were interfering and losing to young Dustin. Both these youngsters, by the way, just needed an opportunity. But it's very clear from the end that the turnbuckle was actually supposed to come off and didn't. So there was a malfunction of the malfunction. The turnbuckle actually functioned too well because when Dustin ran into it, instead of just running into a corner and not overextending and doing that thing like you hit your shoulder on the buckle post, the turnbuckle, he very much acted and reacted stunned and dazed, almost like he was concussed, like if you hit an exposed turnbuckle. So he was acting as if the turnbuckle padding wasn't there, but it was. And he stood around and dazed around. It took forever for Christian to set up a spear. But of course, a spear is enough to put old Dustin down. And we had to get a kill shot and or whatever he calls it, the flatliner, whatever. I don't care what he calls it. And that wasn't enough either, which was sort of a theme with the show. One finisher isn't enough, two finishers enough, but three finishers, and Christian Cage holds on to his TNT title with his protege, his son, no, not Danny Garcia in 2.0, but Nick Wayne. Mama Wayne wasn't there, not a sign of that youngster Adam Copeland, and Killswitch not appearing like he has any reservations or second thoughts whatsoever. So I don't know what the point. I mean, Dustin was on a one-match win streak against Willie Mack, who doesn't work for the company, so you could see where he would earn a title shot. I didn't understand any part of this match, and if anybody thought that I liked any part of it, obviously you don't get sarcasm.
Yeah, I don't know, but did you notice that towards the end of the match, how pathetic it was after taking a spear that Dustin Rhodes just pops right up for the unprettier or whatever it's called now. And then I don't know if he realized how terrible and pathetic that was like I did, that he had to do it again. EC, what do you got to say about this?
I'm going to say something that's going to surprise a lot of people. I actually thought the match was pretty enjoyable. It was pretty entertaining. I thought it was very well done. Christian is always been very good in the ring, and so really has Goldust. I get the joke and I get the sarcasm that was said by Evil Dose. I will not argue with him on that one. These two they're both, I think, north of 50, right?
No, they're young and up and coming. Come on now.
Yeah, up and coming to the grave. Look, they need to realize that it's good to be able to do something and give back to people. However, at the same time, Dustin Rhodes, I really think, especially in your case, you want to consider retirement because people don't want to see you go into a funk where, I mean, you're already at the point where I think you shouldn't be doing anything, but people don't want to see you get into a funk when you aren't able to do anything. And it's just pathetic to see you in the ring. I think you're trying to hold on to something that's not there anymore. However, I cannot sit here and the quality of the in-ring action that we saw in that first opening match. I thought it was very good. I thought it told a very good story. Conspicuous by his absence was Adam Copeland, he was going to be on each every single week, but he was on Collision, so he didn't feel like showing up for Dynamite. She'll shoot him. I just don't want the storyline to drag on any longer because it's been going on since Adam Copeland arrived in AEW, which was in September, October. So it will be nice to see some kind of progression at this point.
Does anyone want to bet against me that both people in the ring got the same letter that I'm holding right now? Why is my camera freezing? Oh boy, this was a good joke. Let's see if I try this again. No, nothing. Terrific. Wonderful. Awesome. It's a letter from AARP explaining the benefits that came in the mail today, but joke is dead. Can you even hear me?
We're having a lot of technical issues tonight. I mean, Dan, computer went racist a few times. Right now, you are frozen. Earlier today, I was on UPRE and Steve's thing went off a few times. So, Jeff, I will ask you to leave and then come back and your thing will reset. In the meantime, Dan and I can pick up on the next segment.
We can. What's going on, Jeff? How are you?
What's going on, Jeff?
How's it going?
My MLK day was good. How was yours, Dan?
My MLK day was pretty good. I can't complain. I'm here. I'm alive. I'm 6 feet above ground. So I'm excited. Computer went racist.
The screen went black. That's why. He only got that. And 2 days out of MLK Day, and this computer didn't want to feel it. Hey, MLK Day is a day of service, right? So good job to all you all who did some day of servicing. Good job to Dan for that generic answer because he knows he had to be careful. So I appreciate that. I do, right? Jeff's back. Evil Dose. No, okay, you go. Go ahead. You lead. There you go. Let me move him up here because I'm a guest.
There we are.
So, Evil Dose, you back?
I don't know if anyone heard my joke earlier, but I want to know if anyone wants to bet against me that they got this letter. Yeah, my AARP. All right, so the joke's done. All right, very good.
We don't get snow in Orlando.
No snow in Florida. No snow. I think Evil Dose
Jacksonville and Tallahassee's had some in the last 50 years or so.
Yeah, we got some, and we're supposed to get more tomorrow.
Oh man.
Well, ask Tony Khan how MLK Day was because
I will when we get to Private Party versus Top Flight. Yeah.
Oh, that was the celebration.
Yeah, I will get to MLK Day. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Awesome. All right, so I think we both can agree, or we all can. This match had its entertainment. Christian Cage did end up picking up the victory, which I think we all expected. We're inevitably getting Adam Copeland and Christian Cage again, probably at Revolution. Z is silent. You are cracking us up, man. You're cracking us up.
Not deadly.
Oh my goodness, guys. I don't even know what to say.
How about go right into the one of the high points of hour one, which was Swerve's interview.
Yeah. So Renee Paquette, on TV way too much, I think. Backstage interviewing Chris Jericho, and Chris Jericho is having a little pity party, and here comes.
Did I miss the Swerve coverage?
We have not gotten to Swerve yet.
Well, I thought
we bumped Swerve. We did. We did bump Swerve. We bumped him. So yes, Swerve is backstage looking like a raccoon. I'm not sure if he's gone completely emo on us or what's happening. It's very bizarre how he's got completely black eye makeup.
He's been doing the eyeliner thing for a while, but this was a whole nother level. This was like when Batman takes off his cowl in the Patterson movie. But it was a strange look.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, he also I haven't studied his grill before, but I never noticed before the exaggerated canines, almost like vampire grill. So if he's had that before and I missed it. But this is the first time I've ever noticed it. So maybe he's going for like a sort of goth kind of thing.
Usually a guy that comes out to a rap song, I don't see goth in that. So that is very interesting.
Well, you can't have Gotham without goth. Well, he didn't come out to any music everyone's talking about this, but his promo was good. It was an excellent promo, and no Nana there, and he basically was saying he's coming for the title, coming out of the Continental Classic. He didn't win it, but everyone's talking about him, and he's here, and Adam Page is looking for the title too. But why should he be worried about Adam Page? He's already beat him twice and sees no reason why he has to beat him again. And whose house is it? And the place goes Swerve's house. He should have just walked out at that, but he said Swerve's house a second time, which was, I think, unnecessary. And Tamara, you were correct. I've never watched Lil Uzi Vert. I know what an Uzi is, and Vert, I believe, is a vegetable or green. So.
Lil Uzi Vert was at WrestleMania 39 this past year. He sung right before the Usos came out. It was a very popular song. Damn. Yeah. Doesn't ring a bell.
Wow. Anyway,
the camera wasn't working.
Go again. MLK Day. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching Unpopular Review, AEW Dynamite Edition. I'm the exec consultant. That's Dan the Man, Evil Dose. Please make sure you're liking, loving, and sharing this to all your wrestling timelines and group. If you have not subscribed to us on YouTube, go ahead, hit that subscribe button on Unpopular Review Wrestling. Subscribe. If you've already subscribed, get your dog, your cat, your fish, your iguana, your snake, your mom, your
grandma,
dad, your grandma, your cousin, your former prison mate, all to subscribe to Unpopular Review Wrestling.
And your cousin, your current prison mates.
Yeah, well, your current prison mates, because technology.
And we appreciate it if you are watching from prison as well. So thank you.
Very much so.
You have nothing else to do. And don't rape your buddy. But look, here's my thing, right?
Always consensual.
Swerve's promo was nice, concise, straight to the point. The problem is, I know he's trying to look very serious. I know he's trying to make himself look like a contender for that world championship. You already did, and you already do. It had nothing to do with how much eyeliner you can put going. Now, I will tell you this, right? Seen Swerve quite a few times outside of the daggone wrestling ring. He is kind of emo, right? This is a portrayal that he plays on air, but he really is that emo person. That's one of the things I don't like about his on-air character. That's a complete difference from what he is really in person. In person, he's not going to break into a man's house and hover over a child like he's going to do something. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to do that. But they have to make him look evil. The problem I have with this, and we'll talk, and that is a very good thing. The problem that we have, and we'll talk more about this during the main event, is who the freak is the heel? Who the freak is the babyface? I guess it's supposed to be Adam Page, but I don't know if it's working out.
Yeah.
Whose house?
There is no heel and babyface in AEW. It's the strangest thing.
And I'm going to dive right into that because I agree with you, Dan the Man.
And listen, I am a AEW mark here, but I will not deny the flaws that they currently are facing, and I think it's a lot of the reason why they are struggling, because they are lacking clear, concise direction. But
I would pile on, except you guys are exactly right. I mean, there's lots of reasons why they're having problems, but that's a problem even for the hardest core diehards. It's hard to know what you're watching when the storylines are all over the place, and the easiest part of the storyline is knowing who you're supposed to boo for and who you're supposed to cheer for, or if you want to be contrarian, to do the opposite. But it's not even clear what to do. It's almost like it's like a college football game being played on neutral ground.
That is an interesting take. That is a very interesting take, but you're not wrong. Next, we do have Chris Jericho with Renee Paquette as well, because Renee Paquette does not miss your television. Every week, she gets your television for, I would say, a good 5 to 10 minutes.
Do you know how much she makes? They have to justify her salary.
I'm going to just venture to believe that she's probably getting about close to $1 million.
She makes a good chunk of change in that company. So they have to do. So if she's just on the air or backstage for one segment, it's not justifying the fact she makes all that money. So they got to utilize her as much as you want. And she looks remarkable at times. Her interview with the Young Bucks, I thought she was looking fantastic.
I have to believe that the Young Bucks were partially talking about her.
We'll talk more about it. What are we talking about, Dan?
I'm just want to touch on this comment right now. So Z thinks the reason why they're lacking isn't the heel or face aspect. It's the Bucks interview that they touched on that was pretty open and honest about the company. And I think there is some truth to that. There is some truth. We're gonna touch a little more on that later on in the show.
Yeah. Z, it's never one thing. It's never just one thing. There's always a bunch of things. But when a lot of little things become a big thing, or a few big things expose a lot of little things. Either way, when the center cannot hold, things fall apart.
So Chris Jericho is in his woe is me phase right now after losing at Battle of the Belts, the tag team titles.
He should have been.
Jeez Louise. They should have the eyeshadow on him right now.
Did you just say geez Louise?
I did say geez Louise.
The executive consultant says, "Good grief!" and you're going, "Geez, Louise, what should I do?" Oakley dokley?
Last week you were on a show where somebody actually literally said, "Holy moly!" and you're really going to give him crap for that?
I'm not always on my A game. I was busy last week trying to deal with the Tasmanian Vinny.
You know what? The Tasmanian Vinny sounds like a fantastic name, and we might have to patent that. So
trademark, but maybe if he's actually new technology, maybe we can patent him.
We could. Well, that's the thing. Vince is new technology.
He's one of Tony's bots.
So Matt Sydal, where have you been? All of a sudden jumps into the picture here. Has anybody seen Matt Sydal?
Yes,
ever?
Sadly, I have. Too much. But he was born to do this.
Matt Sydal was on tonight?
He was.
Where was he? I didn't see him.
He jumped in the interview with Jericho and challenged Jericho.
Oh, that was Matt Sydal?
That was.
I swore that was Action Andretti. Okay. All right. That's embarrassing.
Right.
I did not know that was Evan Bourne. I had no clue.
Dude.
I really thought that was Action Andretti.
How do you confuse Andretti and Sydal?
Do you want the real version or do you want the over the top version?
I mean, I
over the top.
Give it to me because they look nothing alike.
Do either one of them go appear on the pay-per-view or PLE? Do either of them appear on Dynamite each and every single week?
No.
That's how. They all look the same to me. AEW is too overcrowded with a lot of people who look alike. Physically, you're right. They may not look completely alike, right? Uh-huh. But realistically, when you see them as a flash in the pan and you don't give a F about them when they do appear, they look alike.
Okay. All right, then. Well, listen.
So they all look the same, apparently.
They all look the same. Action and
Evan Bourne, like a 42-year-old, small, short white man, compared to Action Andretti with curly-haired, young, 23-ish, mixed racial heritage. Clearly look exactly.
Oh, yes?
They're both small. That's
all I see. I'm watching wrestling and I'm watching little short people come. You know what? And I was thinking I was going to say this is a private party in Top Flight, but realistically speaking, I mean, I thought 205 was canceled, and I every Wednesday I can see it. I don't understand it. Well,
no.
I thought it was Action Andretti, not Evan Bourne. I apologize, but why is Chris Jericho still on the TV screen? Like, give it up, buddy.
Just one correction. It's not 205 live in AEW. It's 167 is heaven. Why is Chris Jericho on TV? Because as I explained in my debut, Tony Khan loves 3-man
Exactly. When you are over 6 feet, and I'm well over 6 feet, all I see is short people, right? I had to look. I have to look down at Chris Jericho. Realistically, I have to look down at Chris Jericho. So then I see him, and some guy walks into him, and he's like, But hey, Chris Jericho hasn't had a victory in a while, so he needs a victory. So Evan Bourne, right, is going to get the victory.
He looked like
I keep forgetting he's in AEW.
To Seidel.
Well, all I do know is Chris Jericho is now relegated to Rampage duty, and ain't nobody watches that crap.
The funny thing is
they want people to watch Rampage.
The funny thing is, first of all, called Seidel. He said, Seidel, I'm going to challenge you, and I'm going to be you right here in Charleston, South Carolina. I'll see you Friday. So he's still pretending that it's in 2 days, that they're staying there for 48 hours, and there's going to be another.
They have to do it. WWE used to do that with Sunday Night Heat and Monday Night Raw. But I will say that Dan asked me a question. You were in the middle of talking, so I wanted to let you talk. But I can't remember what was the question you asked me, Dan.
Who watches Rampage?
Oh, Rampage is their second highest rated show. Did you not know?
That is disgusting.
They more people watch Rampage than Collision.
Well, not this week, but it's close.
And I will tell you, this week it was close. It was like 5,000 all. But I will say this: I know one person watched Rampage last week. That was you.
I watched it. Yeah.
So 2 people watched it. Both of y'all watched it last week.
You saw me, right?
I didn't watch it, so no, I didn't see you there. You should have clipped yourself and posted it on Instagram.
I should have.
But I will say that they really want Rampage to succeed. I don't know why, but they do put people of star quality on Rampage from time to time. This is one of them, because I think Jeff Hardy, who's the king of Rampage, is going to be on against Darby Allin, who's a star in AEW.
Jeff would rather watch Sunday Night Heat than Rampage.
Most people would rather watch Sunday Night than Heat. I mean, when during the end of WCW, more people were watching Sunday Night Heat than WCW Nitro. So, I mean, what can I say there? But realistically speaking, Sunday Night Heat makes more ratings than Raw, SmackDown, and AEW at this point. Yep.
So, all right, we're going to jump into the next match here. We have OC and Trent Beretta against I can't even keep a straight face right now.
But Jeff can keep a straight face because he's frozen again.
And then, he is against Penta and Commander. So, I like OC. I like Commander. I like Penta. Trent, what is he doing? I don't really know. But this match was... it felt like a tornado tag, but it was supposed to be a normal tag team match. AEW seems to lose tag team matches now, and I'm very confused at what they did with this. This match did nothing for me. It felt like word vomit in action, and I don't even understand why they had this. This match made no sense. It was throwing a bunch of paint at a canvas and hoping that something stuck. They tried to make a Monet out of shit paint, and the shit paint didn't stick. So, I mean, this was just an interesting match that interested me not. So, best friends won. Undisputed Kingdom comes out. Roddy is all talking OC. I want that title. Give me that title. OC's like, let's just go tonight. And Roddy, classic heel, goes, nah, we're gonna wait for Revolution. But that made no sense because you had a weakened Orange Cassidy win the belt. Don't be an idiot. And that this was bad booking on Tony Khan's part, but also great booking to announce a match 6 weeks in advance, which is something they really have struggled with doing in the past. So I give kudos to announce a match and put some build on it so far in advance to try to sell one of your big pay-per-views. Yeah, what do you guys think?
I only heard bits and pieces of what you said, but what you said I agree with, because this match seemed to come out of nowhere. It seemed to have no reason. They were trying to tell something about that Trent always needs Orange Cassidy, and Orange Cassidy is always there for him, but I don't remember best friends being beat up by... all right. Can you hear me?
Evil Dose is gone. You are frozen.
I'll give my take on this real quick, but I don't know how to say this, but I'm just going to say it. So Orange Cassidy, everybody knows, is literally my favorite AEW wrestler.
Yep.
Right. But to a lesser extent, what people don't know is that Pentagon is right there as a solid number 2. Right. Yep. I'm a huge fan of Pentagon. Always been a huge fan of Pentagon ever since his work at MLW and TNA. And I really want to see him do something else. Now, my problem that I have with this match, because I can see these two wrestle all the time, but I hate them being in tag team matches. Pentagon likes that, as you mentioned, tornado tag team style match, which really all AEW does in their tag team matches. They always do tornado style. I hate it. Right? Not only do I hate it because I'm not a fan of tornado style, I hate it because they fake like they're not doing tornado style, when clearly you're doing tornado style. If you referees there in the middle and looking at all 4 people just in the ring and not counting or doing anything, you're doing the tornado style match. I hated the beginning of this match, so to speak, because I'm sick of seeing every single time Pentagon goes in the ring, he does his right into the person's face, and they just stand there like they don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For the first few times, it's cool. If you do it sometimes, maybe, but you do it every time.
Yep.
Listen, and I'm like, you don't know you're about to get smushed in the face, and then Orange Cassidy with this, and then they stop him now. It's this new thing. Like, let's change it up a little bit.
It's absurd. It's absurd.
I always think these 4 gentlemen, even though I don't understand why we still have to go with the tag team for Pentagon, these 4 gentlemen put on a solid performance of a match. I just think it's overdone, and I don't like the tornado. Piggybacking off what you said about Roderick Strong coming out, I thought he looked a credible threat when he came out, but it didn't make sense for you to sit there and say all that smackety smack about Orange Cassidy, and then when Orange says, okay, let's go right now, and you can clearly see he's hurt, you acknowledge the fact he's hurt, everybody acknowledges the fact he's hurt. Oh, no, I'm not going to wrestle you. I'm going to wait 6 weeks when you're actually better? That made no sense. Like, I have 2 of my guys here. Apparently 2 of my other guys on the back. You have 2 of your guys here. One is weakened, one is injured. You're weakened and injured. Let's go.
Yeah.
You're a fool.
Agree. 100%. I mean,
don't understand it. It makes no sense.
He literally did a heel and a face move all at the same time. It made
he would have been a more credible heel if he actually used his brain. Right? They did this whole thing where they were so smart that they did this whole double angle, but you can't use your brain. You clearly can beat the guy right here, and you don't have to beat him clean. You can still cheat. All the odds are in your favor, Katniss Everdeen. All the odds are in your favor, and you still effed it up. Don't understand. And Roderick Strong should have less mic time because he does not. He also doesn't sound credible when he's talking.
Yep,
it's his voice. And that's why he's St. David's his father.
Yeah, he's terrible. I mean, Matt Taven can at least talk, so he should be the spokesperson. I don't know why they're featuring Roderick Strong other than he's the singles performer out of the 3 of them. And I assume Wardlow wasn't there as to why he didn't come out, but that didn't make any sense. They were talking about it like there's a group of 5 and 4 of these men. Then they realized there's 3 of them. And yes, they made a big thing to surround them and that Chuck Taylor's injured and then no beatdown. And then as well, everyone pointed out, Roderick Strong's like, I'm going to beat you up, but not today. It's like the Joker in Adam West Batman. First, I'm going to put you in this giant birthday cake, and when the candles burn down, they're going to burn through this rope, and then a pendulum is going to swing down instead of shooting you with this gun. I mean, Roderick Strong is like, I'm going to make you think about this every day for 6. What's he thinking about? Orange Cassidy, his whole gimmick has been, I will accept any challenge anywhere. Even if somebody mentions the word challenge while he's walking by, he's like, okay, let's go. So obviously he's not somebody who stresses these things. So none of it made sense. And it's Roderick Strong, which, putting a microphone in him doesn't make sense. And that's sort of the microcosm of AEW. And by the way, if my camera freezes up again, I'm just letting everyone know, just cut me out if I'm dead. I don't know what's going on here.
You're probably going to be dead because the way it's been going, it seems like it's going to happen within the next 120 seconds. I completely forgot about this, and I can't believe because I'm on the show. But ladies and gentlemen, we really need to take a commercial break. Stay with us. You're watching Unpopular Review. We'll come back, more talk. See if that sub maker is going to come on the show. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
This is good.
Yeah, not that one.
We get.
But Vic said something
Trick. He said something over the lines of like Trick is outshining Mello, but Vic does things like this. I do want to point this out, and you know how I feel about one Vic Joseph, which I feel like I have a big problem with him because you know why I have a problem with him? He has two first names, Vic and Joseph. They can't be last names. They're both first names. And this guy is trying to cause a division between these two great men, talking about Trick and Mello. They're already having problems, and here he is. Trick is outshining Mello. Stop it, Vic. I hope someone steals his candy. Wrestling Dog.
But he's not wrong.
Yes, he is. You know why? Because he succeeds in being wrong. Vic Joseph, I'm on to your game, and I'm not talking about Sorry, Trouble, or Monopoly. And God knows I don't like Monopoly because I don't like sitting down for 4 hours. That game, you could be there forever. Wrestling Dog, take the floor. They don't want to hear me rant about this stuff. What did you think about this opener?
People come here half the time to hear us rant about everything that annoys us about NXT or the WWE, and occasionally AEW.
That is the NXT show, which is with the Wrestling Doll and Bad Guy Jack and Mealy after NXT every single Tuesday. I am the executive consultant. That's Danny Man Evil Dose. Please make sure you're subscribing to us and liking us and follow us on all our social media, along with all our other subsidiaries. We'll talk more about that later. Danny Man, take it away. AEW Dynamite.
So we're going to go now to more of Renee Paquette because we can't get enough.
The remarkable Renee Paquette.
Oh, jeez. So now we have Hangman Page. Hangman Page, I'm going to tell you this. I'm actually interested in Hangman Page right now. He doesn't seem like the bullshit gimmick that he had a year ago. He doesn't seem like the sorry little baby face. I don't know if he's a face, don't know if he's a heel, probably somewhere in the tweener stage, but I'm liking the intensity. I find there's some interest in there. He's not cutting these ridiculously long promos anymore. He's keeping them very short and sweet, which I think he needs to do, and I think it's more effective for his character. And he is now basically saying, I'm throwing the gauntlet down. I don't care. Swerve beat the crap out of me. He's not the champion. I want Samoa Joe. But if I got to go through Swerve, I'm going to go through Swerve. And inevitably, we all know we're getting Swerve and Hangman number 3. Do we need number 3? I don't know. Hangman winning number 3. It's not the rubber match. Doesn't do anything for him. Might give him a little bit of credibility, but he still has lost the series at this point.
See, I don't think that we're going to Swerve Hangman 3. I think we're going to a fatal 3-way at Revolution. But okay, when I see Adam Page, and I know that people from here may not remember me from my first incarnation, An Unpopular View, and may not listen to Hammer Like Hangover or know me, but I was a big Hangman Page fan back from Ring of Honor, like 2014, 2015, 2016. I was really excited, like of the Elite. He's the one I was the most excited to see what would come of him. What I would say about Hangman Page now is almost, but something's missing. And I don't know exactly what it is, but he never seems to get it quite right. So I like that he's wearing darker clothes. He doesn't look like he's like playing a cowboy, but he's doing country music at the Grand Ole Opry anymore. I like the growing, the hair that can be sort of the facial hair, which can be sort of, it can be sort of heelish, but works for the cowboy. I like the gruff exterior. I like that he's going for the title and he has a goal. But then at the end, it's like he forgot what he wanted to say. And then what you were pointing as a point in his favor, I'm taking as a tally away from him when he said, Swerve, you say I can't beat you? Oh,
there he is.
I can sit here and tell you that I feel like Adam Hangman Page has definitely gotten better, in my opinion. I felt like before he was too cookie cutter, and I feel like he was too ridiculous. And a part of that was because he was upping with the Elite. And I've never been a fan of how Elite operates. I think they're too jokey joke. Welcome back, Evil Dose. But
I just want to finish that point in case.
Go ahead. Again.
I'm sorry. I just want, because if this really happens, I know I said I'm not coming back, but I just wanted
to finish
building stuff. So he's like, I know you say that I can't beat you, but that doesn't matter. I don't have to beat you.
It's over. We can hear you. Keep going.
He's gone.
We can hear you. Keep going. Just finish your thought.
All right. He said, it doesn't matter. I have to beat Samoa Joe. I don't know if I can beat you. And that to me sounds cowardly. That's sort of a cop-out. It's sort of lame.
I definitely, as a matter of fact, Evil Dose, do you know how to turn your camera off on that thing?
Yeah.
If you go to settings, it should say some stop camera or something there you go. Just stay like that, and we'll be fine. So
Okay, you can hear me.
yeah, I can hear you. So just stay like
Okay,
that.
perfect.
I mean, you have technical difficulties, it's fine. With that being said, I just don't understand why we're Adam Cole, not Adam Cole. It's too many Adams in AEW. So Adam Page, I think is the babyface of this three-way dance that they're doing. I think he's become more interesting. I think his promos have become more interesting. I see him being a lot more tough. But I do believe that he and Swerve are going to cancel each other out in this feud, and that is going to lead to a Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland 3. Dan, what you got to say?
Yeah, no, we're definitely getting more Hangman. We're definitely getting more Swerve. It could be a triple threat. It could be just a match between the two of them, and the winner's going to face Samoa Joe. I don't know what direction they're going to go. AEW booking is unpredictable because there really is no booking. And there's so much potential for them, but they're dropping the ball in certain areas because they're out psyching themselves with long-term storytelling. Wrestling is a very simple thing. Don't overcomplicate it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to the Mark Briscoe segment here. This was actually a really nice segment. We did lose Jay Briscoe exactly a year ago today, and RIP. It is a very emotional thing that I think a lot of the AEW roster went through. It was an accident that I think touched a lot of lives. It definitely sent shockwaves into the wrestling community. And I think if anything, it really shows just how fragile life can be and to really cherish and treasure what you do have. We did see some really nice moments with the Briscoe family. And, one of the great things I did see out of this was Jay Briscoe's daughter was in that car accident. She did survive, and they said she would never walk again. And then she came out from backstage totally walking and fine. And I think that it's a great story. It's fantastic, and it shows a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel there.
Yeah, that was a great moment. That was one of the emotional highlights of the show. The only thing I would say is that this was the same tribute video from a year ago. And it almost makes me feel like this was an afterthought. Like maybe they found out that a bunch of the Briscoes were coming down to the show, and then they're like, "Oh well, let's do a little homage." And no one took the time to do a second video. And I think that also sort of feeds into the, we just came off celebrating Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and there was no mention of that. I just think that Tony, who probably in 3-4 years ago, he wouldn't miss anything that was a chance to look good and to be progressive and to look like he's doing the right thing. And now I think he's so embattled and so scattered that even when he does the right thing, he does something wrong. And I'm not sure how many people would notice it, but I saw that tribute several times, and it's a lovely tribute. But if you have an entire year and you're planning to do something, update it. Do a new tribute video. I mean, right. It was a great one, but still do another one. Put a song to it, something.
Well, I mean, Tony Khan is known for his pandering, and I think it's kind of nice to not totally pander in every situation that you can. So I do agree a new video might have been nice, little new segments, touches, but they didn't. So maybe a little lazy on their part, maybe not, who knows, but this is what they went with. And I'm not going to bash them for it.
By the way, this may also be petty, but when I was watching it, right from the beginning, I could only see like 2 or 3 rows of people, and there were those heavy blue lights, and I couldn't tell if those seats were empty or if it was just the blue lighting. So of course I had to ask, and somebody said that the ticket sales were about 2,500. Now, I don't know how many showed up. I don't know if they're having weather down there or whatever, but it's a 13,000 capacity building. So I'm thinking that the blue lights were there partly because of they didn't want to make the place look empty.
Oh, you could see how empty it looked on TV with all the black tarp. It was really bad. I think they need to learn the venues that have worked, the cities that have worked, and maybe run a circuit, so to say. Don't overdo it, but see what's worked and go from there. They definitely do need to focus on smaller venues. You don't need to go crazy and go to, the JCC or an Armory or anything like that, but they do need to look at maybe doing college campuses or, even convention center type of deals that are larger and turning it more into an arena, something that could still look aesthetically pleasing on television, but not being completely pathetic.
No, I completely agree with you. I think but here's the thing: AEW doesn't really run in the largest venue inside of that particular city that they go to. Right, that's the bad thing about it. They go to like the secondary one. Even here in Orlando, they didn't go to the Kia, what they call it now, Kia Center.
Yeah,
they went to the Edition Financial Arena. Now, granted, you said you were there and they did pretty well. I'm sure they did.
They did,
but I think you made a good point. Maybe they should start going to civic centers or places like that, and that will help. But shout out for them. I don't think they let it discourage them.
Nope.
They still go out there and put on a pretty good product. And they still go hard, just like if it's 2,500 or 15,000 people.
Right.
So I will always give AEW credit for that. But yeah, I think they might want to think about finding somebody new in their marketing firm, brand, whatever the hell.
I think they did
help out with that. But whatever is going to help them out.
They hired a new person in charge of live events, but I think there's two other problems, and one is quite simply Tony Khan's ego. I think he wants to rent the main event arenas. But another more practical one, and frankly, I didn't even think about it until earlier today, and that's their set. I think their set is so big that you have to get into a building that has entranceways that are X big enough, and I'm not sure that your 3,500 or 2,000 seat venues that you could bring your set in. Now, could they build another set? Sure, but maybe they don't want to. And I mean, if you believe my narrative over the last 4.5 years. This is not a for-profit venture; it's a vanity project, and so maybe he doesn't care.
And I'm glad you actually mentioned that because that's a very valid point. That's probably 100% accurate. Their set is actually really large, especially considered to the first set they ever used. It's much bigger. I mean, for all intent and purposes, I actually kind of like their sets, Dynamite Collision especially. So I would hate to see that scaled down, but they have to do what they have to do. Then that is something. Since I was late with this first one, I'm not going to be late with the second one. We're going to go ahead and play a commercial, come back. Much more AEW to talk about before we wrap up. Stay with us. You're watching Unpopular Review.
Friday night.
And I could tell at the end of the match he was really hurt because you could see his face. He was so dejected and so disappointed in himself.
That's right. Maybe that's why they didn't use all that extra pyro that they had rumored coming along. There was rumors that they had a lot of.
Don't get me started on that. That shit pissed me off all day. I kept seeing other reports. I was like, "This is news. Oh, more pyro, more pyro, more pyro." Okay. Just like the new set thing. Oh, it's a new set. I looked at that shit. I was like, there ain't no fucking new set. I just read an article like an hour ago. I could tell. I was like, obviously they showed you the snow outside, right? You can tell they were having issues. Seth Rollins was having a freaking interview backstage. You can see his fucking breath. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was obvious they were having problems. That was the live event stage. You can't tell that shit?
It's the house show stage.
Right. Everybody. You can tell that. But these idiots really were like, oh, new Raw set. I'm like, they had gigantic shit they had before. Triple A said, no, too big. Let's downgrade it.
Let's scale it down.
So what we have on the house show. With these two big scaffoldings right there in the center.
Right in the middle of the graphic. But they made it look like an H.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, that ain't no way that's the Raw set, new Raw set. Ain't no way. Will they make it smaller? Possibly. But will they still make something to make it stand out more? That shit was live events.
Yes, it was.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a clip from the new UPR show exclusive to YouTube Shorts with myself as well as Big Daddy Cool. Every single day a new episode drops, so go ahead and check out that short. It's only 60 seconds every single day on Unpopular Review Wrestling on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe. This is the AEW Dynamite show. That figure down there with no face is the Evil Dose. Dan the Man over here to my right. Well, actually, you're right. I don't know who's right. I can't ever pay attention to it. But we are here talking about some AEW Dynamite. What else we got going on?
So we had the more
Preacher.
that we continue on here, we have more of Renee Paquette again.
The remarkable returning.
This is overkill.
Repeat.
This is unnecessary. I don't need to see Renee this much. Nothing against Renee, but please give me somebody else.
Don't they have another interviewer backstage? She just wasn't there, I guess.
Yeah, Lexi Nair, but I think she only does Collision now, right?
No, but they have a dude also.
Alex Marvez.
Maybe that's not.
Yeah, maybe. Haven't really seen a whole lot of him.
No.
I think he's with the Miami Herald, is he not? I don't know.
I'm not sure. He's got a bunch of gigs, but I think he's, as needed.
There you go.
They had a strange staff, like Tony Schiavone wasn't there. They had Ian Riccaboni. It was a little bit odd, the whole thing.
It's a free for all.
It's probably due to the weather. It's the same thing I say about Raw. And the whole country is snowed in, it seems. And people had travel issues.
Yeah.
We are freezing in Florida. We're
not freezing. We are not freezing.
We
in
are
Florida.
freezing.
We are not freezing in Florida.
We are freezing.
But it is colder than it normally is down here. I will say
it is
that.
in the 40s. We are freezing.
That's not freezing. That's what I'm saying. Most places
are not built for this.
Most places would love to be in the 40s right now. We're at 46, which yes, it's cold for Florida, especially
the way the airlines run their businesses. They, if you have trouble with 2 airports, it's going to screw everything up.
And that's 100% accurate.
Renee might be the only interviewer, and
there was no John Moxley tonight.
The Renee Paquette show. You are 100% correct.
Well, that's why she's remarkable.
We're just gonna. So the Young Bucks are now full on with their new heel gimmick. They pretty much just bashed why they are necessary. They are the anti-system, even though they built the system. And they are going to be the ones to take Sting down and retire Sting. And they very well might. They very well may be Sting's loss. I doubt it. But it could be. It could be. I think Sting would give the rub to the Bucks. But I don't think I would send Sting off.
Listen, that card isn't for 6 weeks. We don't need to talk about that right now. We have to talk about their interview where these 2 clowns are in their 1920 outfits with their pencil-thin mustaches, basically cutting a promo that's where they're heels, but they're so disingenuous, these 2 schmucks. They're acting like they're heels, but that they really do believe every word that they say, that they're heroes, and saying they're the EVPs and call them by their God-given names, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. Their last names are Massey, Massie, by the way. Anyway, and now they're saying you've heard the rumors, and you're going to talk about rumors and forget about. But they're saying our mission was to change the world, and we were going to be a super indie, but we lost our way, and we started bringing in all these old hags, and all these old hags are not what people wanted AEW for. But not Sting. Sting's wonderful. He's an icon. We love him. But because he is what he is, we have to kill him anyway, and everyone like him. So basically, they want to be the legend killer Randy Orton without killing anybody. And it's just an excuse as to why they can glom onto Sting's retirement tour and try to pretend they're heels, but they actually believe that they're salvation heroes, and they're making noises at Punk and everyone else. And so who's next? So they're going to go after Jericho. That's what I was saying. Who's next? They're going to go after Renee, Jericho, Edge, Adam Copeland, Christian. So some of these are their top heels. So, go after the Big Show. Can they reach him? Or whether they kick him, super kick party to the shins? I don't know. Where's Mark? Has anyone seen Mark Henry in months? Is he one of those that's been quietly non-renewed? Is he like on an NBA? It's just like, we're going to pay you for 6 months, but you hate it here and don't say anything?
I don't think he's with the company anymore.
And by God, where is Layla Gray? changing the subject from old hags to
Okay.
definitely the opposite.
You know what? I somewhat agree with you. The Young Sucks, everybody knows I'm not a fan of, but this new Legend Killer gimmick, I guess since it's not going to be Darby versus Sting and they're going to go the tag team route, that the Young Sucks are the best way to go. However, I don't know if we paid attention to the tease that happened. First of all, I can't believe they had 26 matches and never lost any of them.
Yeah.
Sting and Darby Allin are about to win the AEW World Tag Team Championship.
So
They're going to beat Big Bill and Ricky Starks and defend those titles at Revolution.
That would be amazing. I actually would be good with that.
To the Young Sucks, and the Young Sucks are going to win those titles.
Probably.
They don't. I don't. Young Sucks trying to go after people like they're the Legend Killer is a little bit weird to me, considering the fact that even though I'm going to use this word very loosely with them, at this point they are legends. They're not young kids anymore. You know, they're not. They can clean themselves up as much as they want. You can tell they're you know, it's like the Hardys.
Yep.
By the way,
I'm not a
Ricky
fan.
Starks tweeted something today saying February 21st. So those titles might be leaving Starks and Big Bill before Revolution.
Quite
And
possible.
they are. They're Sting and Darby going to defend those titles at Revolution. They're going to beat them before, because that's what they teased in their promo that they had. And I think that's the route they're going. Plus, I'm not sure when Ricky Starks' contract's up. I know it's up soon. And
So
I'm positive he's going to NXT.
Charmaine,
21st seems, yeah.
Christian Cage has had the TNT Championship for a very long time at this point. Does anybody?
He's only had it for like 3 weeks.
No, well, I think she's confused. He did lose to Adam Copeland, but
Yes.
Killswitch won the Battle Royal for the shot at the TNT title whenever he wanted, and they treated like a Money in the Bank. So he cashed in, but he gave it to Christian because that's his father, and then Christian beat Edge after Edge had already fought a match and was being beaten up by Nick Wayne and Killswitch. So Adam Copeland won and lost the title within a 2-minute span.
Correct. Do we think Chris Hero is going to be in AEW?
No, he's a 400-pound producer.
Agreed. We don't even talk about Chris Hero.
We don't need another hero.
No, we don't need a hero. Where is Layla Gray? Where is Layla Gray?
It's a good thing I'm not on camera, Jeffrey.
Let's see. The Bucks, Jeff, they aren't going to be believable as Legend Killers with names as Young Bucks. You can't be young and be in your 40s, so they're going to have to figure this out and just change their name to the Bucks.
It was easy for the Hardy Boys to just cut out boys and just call themselves the Hardys.
They're going to just need to be the Bucks. So let's go on. Let's move to, I will say this match I somewhat enjoyed. It was the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team title match. And I felt this was inevitable. We did get Switchblade and the Guns, the Bullet Club Gold against the Gates of Agony, Brian Cage, and Toa, Leona, and Bishop Khan. And here's Prince Nana coming out and, acting a fool.
Wait, by the way, Prince Nana, no swerve all you dry dance.
Nope.
No reaction.
No reaction. No reaction. It's the music. It's the music and the dance. I'm telling you.
Yep.
So, but without swerve though, is Nana really? Does anybody care?
No, and the Ring of Honor 6-man title, so nobody cares. But I agree. First of all, the crowd sort of embraced Bullet Club Gold as faces pretty darn quickly. So that's something that worked because they were really heelish for a really long time and really great at being heels. And the Gates of Agony are a tag team that work. I mean, Khan and Toa Leone work really well together. Brian Cage, not so much. But the strange thing, and it shouldn't be strange because whenever you consider wrestling common sense in AEW, when they follow it, it's the strange thing. But it still strikes me as strange because I'm a wrestling analyst. They just have this whole story of where Jake Roberts and Lance Archer aren't on the same page, and Lance Archer isn't on the same page with the Gates of Agony and this team, and they're in discord. He even tried to get the Righteous to help him beat them, and that didn't work out. So you think that's going to be a feud between Lance Archer and at least Brian Cage or the Gates of Act? No, nothing like that at all. It's just Bullet Club Gold wins, which is fine. But nobody cares. Like, this isn't prestigious. Jay White didn't get gold when he was in Ring of Honor on Excursion like 9 years ago. So what? It's fine, but nothing makes Ring of Honor feel any more important. They had MJF as the co-tag team champion, and it did. Of course, everyone got hurt, but still, it doesn't matter. You got Claudio, you can have Kingston. It just doesn't matter, and this just didn't matter. They're just giving nothing titles in a company with too many titles to people that they want to reward, and that's okay. But like put them in the real tag team picture. Like, how about the Guns beat Starks and Big Bill for the titles instead of Sting and Darby? Sting and Darby don't need that shit.
Well, I think we're kind of looking
at this Jericho and Sammy. By the way, is Sammy really hurt, or was he just making that up?
I don't know if Sammy's really hurt or not.
Because if he's really hurt, the dude is always hurt.
He's constantly hurt. But I think right now what we're looking at is Jay White needed a title. The Guns are hot as well right now. And the Gates of Agony just didn't have a lot of traction with them. And you're going to be able to, at this point, get some more interest to Ring of Honor with the Bullet Club Gold being champions. So, and now you have,
but I understand the theory,
right? But now you have the Acclaimed that are getting involved as well. So you're either going to have a super group kind of form here, or you're going to have a potential unification of 6-man tag team champions,
which would be fine. But so the super group would be 3 guys and another 3 guys who are facing off against a group of heel villains, which is only 4-5 if you count injured Adam Cole. I mean, faces shouldn't outnumber the heels ever. I mean, at best it should be even up, and that's another thing that AEW consistently does, is that the faces outnumber the heels. Anyway, this I don't really care about this. I think it's fine that they're trying to do some stories, but they're just doing stories badly. But like, if this was practice, this would be like middle school practice. This, I don't know. It's like someone needs to remind people how wrestling stories are supposed to work, and they've got all these Will Washingtons and Jimmy Jacobs and Chris Heroes and Dean Malenkos and Tony Schiavone's and Jerry Lynn's and Christopher Daniels and all these people in the back there that are supposed to know everything. And, you know, and then when you ask them, like Jimmy Jacobs recently was interviewed, he says, yeah, I don't really do much in storyline. I just do mostly administrative stuff. What, like a secretary? Like, what are you doing? You're working the fax machine? I mean, why do you bring in like actual administrative work to do administrative things, so you're not booking 18,000 seat arenas when you sell 3,000 tickets regularly, and have the wrestling people do storylines? We all know the reason why. It's because Tony wants to give everyone that he ever enjoyed watching on TV a job, and he's not going to release the control. We know the problem. We don't need to say it, but I just like to bitch and moan about it every time. And Vinny's not here, so I've got to rant solo.
All right, well, we're going to move on here to Adam Cole and Wardlow doing a promo backstage. Wardlow just can't talk. And Vince McMahon may have been onto something with Adam Cole being a manager. Adam Cole is a good mouthpiece, but apparently, unfortunately, can never wrestle. He's never healthy. He's always injured. At this point, I don't know that I'd have him even one healthy wrestle more than 6 to 8 matches a year.
You know what I have to say to that, Dan? Bay. I agree.
Speaking of agreement, I completely agree with you too. And it's funny, I'm sure all of us were thinking it at the same time, not just the 3 of us in this panel, but people who probably were watching it. Boom. I thought that was so stupid. When Adam Cole was backstage with Wardlow and they did that interview, the whole time I was thinking, like, wow, is Vince McMahon right sometimes, or is Vince McMahon right sometimes? I mean, he's fit the role of a manager. That's how a manager should look. Hey, I do the managing thing. You know, the biggest criticism I get for being a manager is the fact that a lot of times I'm bigger than the guy I manage, right? And they say that looks foolish, Chris. I agree. It looks foolish. That's why sometimes I wrestle. Because I'm bigger than some of the people that I manage. And I'm like, why am I managing somebody who looks like I can beat up? Wardlow looks like he could pick up Adam Cole and just like toss him somewhere. But Adam Cole in that 15-second promo, even though Wardlow killed it again, Wardlaw, whoever the name is, killed it again by ending with boom. Adam Cole made him look like a credible threat again and made him look like a star, even though he looked like a lackey joining up with this group.
Yep.
No, I think you said something smart. I think you said only wrestle him a few times a year. I mean, Adam Cole's still good in the ring. I've always said that I believe him in the ring because of his mouthpiece, because of the way he speaks. But realistically, I always had a problem with Adam Cole's size. He's too small. I think a lot of people do. He's too small.
Well, his injury history is 90% of the problem for me.
But look at your AEW World Champion.
Yeah. Samoa Joe has injury problems, but Samoa Joe, knock on wood, has been healthy for the most part.
Right, but people always said the WWE dropped the ball on him, and I'm gonna do my video. I'm gonna bring up some WWE stuff, and we've been doing really good, right? But I'm gonna say it. WWE did not drop the ball with Samoa Joe. I don't care what anybody says. Samoa Joe was given a lot of pushes, and every time he was pushed, he got injured. To the point where, would you want to keep trying to do something with this guy? He's going to keep getting injured? No. But shout out to him. He's been doing well at AEW. Now, he said that he let his body rest and heal, and that's why he's able to do it, because he said he kept coming back early when I had a conversation with him last month. But we'll see how it goes. But that's another conversation for another time. But Adam Cole, Wardlow, I'm liking the pairing so far.
Right. Well, I don't think any of us think Samoa Joe is going to be a long-term champion.
I've already put it in predictions. If you watch our predictions on our Unpopular Review Wrestling YouTube page, that's one of my predictions. I think Samoa Joe is going to have the shortest AEW world title reign of all time.
I mean, what do we think? Revolution he drops, or do we think probably Double or Nothing?
I think more Double or Nothing. I don't see him dropping a Revolution simply because of the fact that I think it's as Jeff said earlier, I think it's going to be a triple threat match. He said fatal 3-way match. Shame on you, even those. But it's going to be a triple threat match between him, Hangman, and Adam Page. But I think Adam Page and Swerve, their hatred of each other, as well as they should, for Swerve breaking into the man's house, is going to cancel them two out. So the fact that Joe is going to be able to get the victory in that, because they're going to hate each other so much. But whoever, I think Joe does drop it to Wardlow.
Really? I was thinking that we're going to get another champion. Not sure that it would be Wardlow yet. I think
it's going to be Wardlow. Because when you think about it, even just now when you said I think it was going to be another champion, you can't. There's nobody else that comes to mind. You think Swerve, but like I said, Swerve and Hangman are going to cancel each other out. Samoa Joe's not going to hold that title that long. It has to be Wardlow going with that thing.
You could go Swerve right now, and I don't think Adam Cole needs the belt necessarily until maybe All Out.
He's not getting the belt.
Well,
Wardlow is getting
there's
the belt.
Some other people involved that we're forgetting about. I mean, one, he just got a useless belt, but Jay White. You also have Will Ospreay coming in. And there's always John Moxley and that crew. But I see Wardlow more. I'm sorry. This whole devil thing was all about MJF, and I think they're going to wait and see what his event horizon is for coming back. So Wardlow, I see him more going after a different face title. And the Triple Crown is out there with Eddie Kingston, who seems to be very beatable. You always have Orange Cassidy, though. I think that Roderick Strong has a pretty good chance of taking that belt, which is ridiculous. So I could see everyone in the Devil's crew having a belt, just not the top belt, and the Devil is waiting for his chosen target. Lucifer is waiting for Jesus to come back, or whatever the case might be, to even though he doesn't have the title yet. But that's how I see this playing out. So I could see the Triple Crown being with Wardlow, and they've all got titles until MJF comes back and he wants his belt back, and Adam Cole's like, yeah, we want you to get your belt back because I'm going to beat you. So anyway, that's just how I see that.
We're going to move on to the next segment here, and we have one of the best gimmicks, I believe, going on right now in pro wrestling, not just AEW, in pro wrestling. Timeless Tony Storm. graced us with her presence on commentary, along with her lackey Luther and
Butler.
Mariah May. I'm loving this gimmick.
Understudy.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the understudy, Mariah May. And I'm loving it. I totally love where they're going with this. It is new, it is fresh, it is different. And Toni Storm plays this so well.
It's great. And I have very little to add to this, except that she kept acting like she didn't know that Ian Riccaboni wasn't Tony Schiavone, and she kept calling him Tony Schiavone. And she also didn't, she's still acting like she doesn't know Deonna Purrazzo's name. She's like Delia Palazzo or Dina Palazzo. I mean,
it's great.
The whole thing is great, and the whole thing with the shoe is great. So yeah, take it away. It was great, and just everyone remember what I said last week about Deonna Purrazzo. I stand by it. Apparently, the internet did too, and the Twitterverse is upset about it. But
we're moving on.
A very real reaction.
I have to take the time. I have to take the time. I joined the show because I wanted to be on with Vinny and Jeff. I was a very entertaining show last week, but I wanted to, give them some help. But I'm going to take a different approach. It's going to kill me to say something positive right now. But I'm going to say something positive about Jeff. He was 100% absolutely right about Deonna Purrazzo. And let me tell you how I can back it up. In some things, not all. He said that Deonna Purrazzo pretty much nobody cares about. That's summing up pretty much what he was saying, right? And to back him up, Daniel pretty much just agreed with him, right? And you're probably saying, Daniel was saying how? I didn't say anything, right? That's the point. You said the next segment, we had what I think is the best thing in all of wrestling, timeless Toni Storm, and she was a commentator, completely ignoring the fact that we had Deonna Purrazzo in the match with Anna Jay. You didn't mention them.
I'm not done.
But you started with them because that's the highlight, sir.
It is the highlight. That is the women's champion.
No, come on, man.
Oh,
you didn't mention that Orange
champion.
Cassidy was the international champion earlier. Not until we got to the segment with Roderick Strong.
But what I'm saying is what I believe was one of the best gimmicks in wrestling right now. I didn't say what the best new signing was or one of the best women's talents.
You are a fan of Deonna Purrazzo. I know that.
I love
realistically speaking, she's not in the same league. And this is AEW we're talking about, but she's not in the same league as timeless Toni Storm. So she's overshadowed. She's overshadowed.
Come on.
Timeless Toni Storm. Jeffrey put it in the comments. Tony was cracking the commentators. Tony was cracking me up. I actually was listening to the commentating more than I was watching the match. That's not good.
Yeah. There should be
but the
no
person who said it,
hold
on, let the EC finish. The person who said it, I have to get credit, and I wish I could see his face right now, but unfortunately, his computer doesn't want to let it go, and it's frozen, and that is Jeff. Because he said it last week, and I looked at him like he's crazy. I took the glass off, took the executive consultants off, and I said, this guy's crazy. But he's not.
It's just the way the world is. It's not a statement of her value as a human being. It's her value as a primetime star on a television show.
I just find it so funny that the people that are judging
how long did Chris do that?
Body.
I was trying to do my best Evil Dose impersonation for you, buddy, because I was giving you respect and props just right now because you called it and I denied it.
The people that are judging Deonna Purrazzo's physical appearance should definitely look in a mirror.
Nobody say anything about her physical appearance. I wasn't even going to talk about that. I'm talking about the fact that she is not interesting. She is bland. Right? She comes out there. She's another one. You want to talk about you don't know if she's a heel or face.
What do you mean? She's
I'm about to tell you. You want to talk about you don't know if somebody's a heel or face. She comes out here and she acts like she's a face when she's on the mic, right? But all she does when she comes out is she does these little moves and she's walking up, right?
Z gets it.
And then she does this to everybody. She does this to fans. She does this to camera. She does this to referee. She did one of these, I'm wiping my feet on you to Anna Jay. But then she wants to shake her hand after.
Z gets it.
No, he doesn't. He's wrong.
Yes, he does.
No, he's wrong. So he doesn't get anything.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
I'm going to say something even more controversial. I'm going to give 2 compliments. 2 Dose, but not Evil Dose.
Jeff,
because Evil Dose got the first compliment.
Now.
The second compliment is going to go to Vinny. And I can't believe I'm saying this because I completely crucified this man a couple weeks ago because he says this each and every single week. I saw a little bit of Goldust out of Tony Storm. I
Oh,
did.
my God.
I did.
All right.
I'm not saying it was not entertaining. I'm not saying it was not good. But some of the stuff she was doing and acting was straight from how Goldust used to act. Without the gold point, without the colors or anything like that. Even though
You
when
see, we're
Goldust was
losing
on
viewers
screen,
the more you talk like this.
no, we're not.
losing
No, we're not.
viewers
No,
the
we're
more
not.
you
We're
talk
staying
like
steady.
this.
Stop that. Don't do that. Don't fake. But Goldust always had like a gold tint to him, gold background, and everything like that. Now, it's his own take on it, and it's good. It's still very entertaining. Not taking anything away from it, but it was a little Goldust in it. I saw it with Luther. It was a little Goldust Marlena in there. You can't deny it. You can't. Vinny, you might have been right. First time ever in life. Never thought you'd be good at anything other than making a sub, but you might have been right.
Yeah, not the Goldust comment. Seriously,
It's the Goldust. Hey, it hurts my heart to say it, but I saw it. But it was a great segment, and I listened more to her than I watched the match.
Yeah.
Right outside of Deanna's finishing maneuver, I really was not entertained by the match, but I love the commentating and I love everything that Tony. I love how Tony Storm got on the table and got her, Luther closest he's ever been to a woman, even though I know he's dating somebody in TNA. And
whoa, who?
Luther.
He's not dating anybody in TNA.
He's dating some wrestler.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Luther is dating a mutual.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
No, you're right. I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, ignore that. Delete this. But I just had to remember that they're seeing each other. But the bottom line is, it was good. Everything she came out of her mouth was good. I'll hit you right in that box, throwing the shoes. All that was her music playing, and she's still talking to the microphone. All of it was golden. See what I did there, Goldust? That's to you, Dustin Rhodes. All of it was golden.
But Jeff brings up a good point. We're not even mentioning Anna Jay at this point.
You know why? Because Tony Storm was there. And Anna Jay, people only look at her for her looks.
Oh boy, this is how
this
far
was
we've
a
fallen.
boring,
Huh?
sort of clunky match, and the only good part was the end was the finisher when Anna Jay when she was curled upwards like in the Boston Crab position, and I thought maybe her boobs would fall out of her top.
So we're getting more Renee Paquette here, and she's interviewing Deonna Purrazzo in the ring, and Deanna's basically just saying, I want the smoke. I'm coming for you, Tony. I want the belt. I'm going to get that belt. And I think she's going to get the belt.
No,
she's not. I'm shocked that she's already the challenger to Tony Storm.
Well, she is 2-0.
Not getting the belt. She's not getting the
1-0.
No way.
Deonna Purrazzo is not losing.
Yes, she is.
She's absolutely losing.
She is losing.
Oh,
she is not coming in to take that title. Tony Storm is the first ever 3-time AEW Women's Champion, but she's also, fun fact, the shortest reigning AEW Women's Champion and the second shortest AEW Women's Champion. She's not going to become a third, or actually fourth, because Paige is, I think, third at this point.
So you the best thing going in the company. Period.
You're going to tell me right now that they just got one of their biggest signings in Deonna Purrazzo, and they're going to thrust her into the women's title picture, which I think is way too soon.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to put her in there, and you're just going to have her lose.
Yes,
I'm not going to agree with, and I'm not going to say that. Evil doses. I'm not going to say that. Let me tell you why I'm not going to say that. Because Deonna Purrazzo was not one of their biggest signings. That's bullshit. If you think that, I don't know what to tell you. AEW signed way too many wrestlers to say Deonna Purrazzo, she's not cracking top 10. She's not. Sorry. Go to hell.
As far as their women's division goes.
As far as the women's division goes?
She is, you could argue she's their best talent.
You could argue that. You'd be wrong.
No, you can't.
You know what? They have the TBS title for boring wrestlers like her.
Not really, because Jade Cargill was the quintessential TBS champion, right? And she was not boring. She made that championship.
I forgot she was in that company.
She made that title more relevant than the AEW Women's Championship.
True.
And then they gave it to Chris Statlander, and it went
100%. But Julia Hart is elevating the title now.
Is she?
I think so.
Is she?
Listen, you got to make do with what you got. Julia Hart is becoming a star.
Who? What star? Is she wishing upon a star? Is she Pinocchio? She ain't elevating no damn title.
Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got them.
Correct. And no, I'm not going to say that. But look, here's my thing, right? There's no way in hell Deonna Purrazzo is going to beat Toni Storm. That is foolish. That is stupid. Toni Storm is going to have that championship for quite a while. Yeah, she was squashing peasants because she's a
Z is
star.
on point tonight.
Z is on point except for everything about Deonna Purrazzo. He keeps having this make-believe thing that Deonna Purrazzo is it. She's not. She's not moving any needles in any company she's going to. Why do you think WWE didn't make a push to get her?
They didn't even want her. They released her. I mean,
she didn't want to go back.
The Deonna Purrazzo is a star.
They didn't offer her to come back.
The Deonna
it's like getting kicked out the house and you say, "Oh, I'm not coming back." Mother effer, I'm not inviting you back to my house. That's like getting fired and then you say, "Oh, I want my job back." You're not getting your job back, mother effer. I don't want you to have your job back.
He does not want you to go back.
Fired you for a reason.
They have no. They had
you know
no
what they did when
her.
Deonna Purrazzo walked out the Performance Center after they gave her a pink slip? They did
the AEW Women's Division. I'm sorry, the
that little
WWE
shit she
division
does
right now.
She's a heel.
Garbage with no Charlotte Flair.
Ridiculous.
I'm sorry. What did you say? Say that again.
It is complete garbage with no Charlotte Flair right now.
Vinny, let me tell you something.
Whoa!
You're not making sense. When you sit here and talk about Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, just to name a few, not even going to the NXT portion, you lost your mind. All three of those women I just made, eat lunch here in Orlando, and then they go to the toilet and shit out Deonna Purrazzo. I don't want to hear that.
There's
you
two
want to see Deonna Purrazzo?
All I'm seeing is the one finger.
Shayna Baszler. That's Deonna Purrazzo's ceiling. Anyway, Deonna Purrazzo. The people who think Deonna Purrazzo is a star are the same people who think that TNA is on a hot streak right now. It's
is on a hot streak. Don't do that.
She's so bad.
I can name five active women better than her. I can name 5 women better than Deonna Purrazzo.
Go. Let's hear it.
Ready? Are you ready? Here we go. Here you go. Toni Storm.
Nope. But I'll argue it. Go ahead.
Ruby Riott.
Nope. You're stretching right now.
I'm not stretching. Mariah May. More interesting than Deonna Purrazzo.
Oh,
yep. I went there. I'm going to go Athena. Yep.
We could argue Athena.
I'm going Athena. Right. And I'm going to go Stifler's mom. There. I'm done.
Serena Deeb.
There you have it. Breaking news. We cannot take anything you say seriously because I don't even think you believe the shit that just came out of your mouth.
If you put those women on YouTube right now, I guarantee all 5 of those women will have more views than Deonna Purrazzo.
Deonna's way too. There you go, Z. Deonna's way too technical in the ring, more than any of those women. Stop it.
But is she selling tickets? Is she making? Is she's putting a 13,000 seat stadium with 12,000 people? Or is she putting 2,500 people in there? Deonna Purrazzo is putting 2,500 people. She's barely put 300 when she was in TNA. Let's not do that.
You don't even see Athena. You don't even see her.
I don't see Athena. And I wish I didn't see Deonna Purrazzo. I never found her entertaining.
The Z because he's silent, and he should stay silent with those.
Deonna Purrazzo ruled the TNA division so much that they don't want to let go of Gail Kim. 2, they had to bring in Naomi because they wanted to light some fire in that damn division, right? She came in, she took over. Deonna said, "Okay, well, I'm leaving WWE. I don't want to go back to you." And Triple H said, "Who?" Right? So she went up to Tony. Tony said, "Yeah."
WWE called Deonna. Absolutely.
They wanted a number. They wanted a number because they wanted some of the merchandise back that they gave her for free. That's why they called her.
They said exactly. They said, "Don't call us, we'll call you."
I will not take this Deonna slander. I will not take this Deonna slander.
The fact that slander has to be false.
You don't understand good talent.
I understand good talent. That's why we're talking negatively about Deonna Purrazzo.
Wrestling.
No, you're too busy over here looking at her body and saying she's too
no
big.
One's mentioned her body.
I didn't.
I'm not mentioning her body because that doesn't mean anything because you have Nia Jax, who I think is one of the best women in wrestling right now. Is Nia Jax.
She's a monster. Monsters are supposed to be different.
Piper Niven.
Monster.
And where's Piper Niven?
She just lost the tag team championships.
There you go. We're moving on.
She had a championship.
10 Chelsea Greens over a 30 Deonna Purrazzos. I'll take 1 Chelsea Green over 30 Deonna Purrazzos.
Oh, geez.
What's next?
If I could get the crack that you guys have.
Speaking of crack, I think the next thing is Private Party against Top Flight.
So while I watch this match, here's my notes, right? Does anybody have a picture of that Spider-Man meme when they're all pointing to each other? Because that's all I saw in this match.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so this is how the conversation went.
I fell asleep.
You fell asleep? Well, so did Tony Khan when he made this match. He said, "Oh shit, I didn't do anything for MLK Day," and he had these 4 people come out here and have this match.
Do you think he called it a dream match because of the "I have a dream" speech?
I think so. He had one day the 2 black boys versus 2 black boys would be in the ring and they'll just fly around and injure each other. I'm happy to see Private Party, but I really am so tired of seeing these people who cannot crack a 200-pound mark. Yeah. The way drew people into wrestling, realistically speaking, was seeing big, meaty men slapping me.
Yep.
Right? And I'm fine with smaller wrestlers. I truly am. Right? Yep. I like Orange Cassidy. I think he's my favorite. But there's so many of them right now, and I can't take you credible. But this is how much has gotten bad. When we get to the main event, which we'll talk about in a second, Justin Roberts said the All Elite Wrestling World Championship. You got to cut out heavyweight.
They have to. They have to, because a lot of the talent in AEW is not in the heavyweight class.
They're all in light heavyweight class. They don't even make middleweight.
This is why it's a minor league promotion.
Well, hold on. I want to touch on this match before we get totally crazy. This match to me felt like back in 2019, had everyone been healthy, this could have been something. This could have.
It wasn't a bad match.
I'm not saying it was a bad match, but I didn't care, and it felt like I went to
a
local pro wrestling show, and they got me Private Party and Top Flight, and I'm supposed to pop for that.
Local Pro Wrestling is one of the organizations I wrestle for. I want to wrestle for. I ring announce for. So shout out to them.
Yeah, wonderful. But this match could have been so much better than it was, and I did not care because the character development is terrible because they're always hurt.
True.
It's because of their ring style.
But I did like the Private Party cheated, but they cheated subtly. You're not sure if he really cheated or if he was losing his balance, but maybe they're coming in with a new attitude. I'm not invested in Private Party, but if they're going to be on my TV, at least have some wrinkle to their characters other than we like to party at a club that doesn't exist and our song is "It's a Private Party, but you're all invited." That doesn't make any sense. None at all. Yeah. Two young teams that have had injury problems, and yes, they're sort of similar in style. I mean, this should be the match that's like at 0 hour to get a crowd hot at a house show. This is not like leading up to your main event on a primetime television show with no story. Like if they built up this rivalry for a while, it may be something. But
you can see they're trying to do something with Private Party. They want to give them a shot, and shout out to them for trying to give them a shot. I think Private Party's pretty good, but they're just too small for me. We're running kind of long. Let's get into the main event. But first, we'll take our last commercial break. Stay with us. You're watching Unpopular Review.
Oh, we get Seth Rollins coming in, dressing like freaking Cindy Crawford in 1984. What a douche canoe this idiot is. He wants us to take him seriously, and he comes in like he's part of Duran Duran. Jinder. I am so into Jinder Mahal now, and that was before Tony Khan went totally insane on his ass. Jinder is like totally rolled into a heel, and you know what the best part is? And this is not going to happen. Okay, when people say nobody, I am part of this nobody. I am the nobody who is totally for the Sangha Maniacs. I'm pushing in the sheer like they're the freaking Road Warriors in 1985. I'm the only one. I am their only fan. People, I'm aware of this.
I thought Veer looked like money. I thought he looked like money. Long, flowing, flocking hair. He can bust your ass, but he can still wear a suit. Man, he had a nice promo sitting on an IKEA couch on social media. I mean, the man looked like money, and Vince McMahon was trying to push him, and then he tried too much.
Yeah, well, I tell you, he was coming for too long, and then we knew he was in the emergency room because he was coming for too long. Anyway, listen, I keep trying to push this too, and it ain't happening. But you bring up something like a Kiana James as her manager, or I am not jealous of Seth. That's the bump I know. Don't worry about it.
Shout out
to see me dancing.
Shout out to Willie's hairdo.
Yes,
always Yeah, but so, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Raw and SmackDown show with some guest stars this week. But join that every single Saturday. This Saturday and possibly next Saturday. And then after that, it's only going to be the SmackDown show because Raw's going to go to a watch along. We'll talk more about that later. But you're watching AEW Dynamite review show. Dan and Man hosting, of course. Evil Dose here. Vinny is being substituted by this chocolate handsome devil, the executive consultant. Let's go ahead and talk some main event, I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know we touched a little bit earlier. We had the video package with Sting and Darby.
Mm-hmm.
They're going after Starks and Big Bill. We don't know when that's going to happen, but I think we're all under the assumption they're going to win the tag titles and challenge in the Bucks for the tag titles at Revolution, right? I mean, that's the direction we all kind of anticipate. All right. So now main event time. Samoa Joe and Hook, AEW World Title. One word comes to mind for this. Why? Why would you do this? Why would you have a first title defense against somebody that you're really trying to press on us and then lose? Why would you have a 150-pound man against a 250-pound man and try and make me believe this is credible? Why would you put this match out? Why is this your main event? Why did you give this commercial free? Why did you do this? What was your why? Just why? I don't understand.
I want to touch on one thing about the Darby and Sting thing, because I said this on the Collision review, I think with Shayna, is that, and I'm mentioning, I guess they repeated the phrase in the vignette, and that Sting said twice now that Darby Allin is the best tag team partner you ever had. Well, some of his other tag team partners included Ric Flair. So I'm not convinced that Ric Flair isn't going to take umbrage to that and not turn on it so that we don't have a tag team title. I'm just putting it out there because I haven't heard anyone else say that or notice it. It might be nothing. As far as why, it doesn't matter why. Why do you put Jinder against Seth? It doesn't. You had to put someone. He had a record. Hook really can't wrestle, but they wrestle a similar style. I'm sure that Samoa Joe and Taz have been compared to each other for a long time. They're probably friendly. They go back way, and he's like, yeah, let's give your kid a chance. I'm going to surprise everyone here. The match went a little bit long, but I actually think this was really well booked because Joe is a booking nightmare. What do I mean by that? Because no matter whether he's a face or a heel, people cheer him. People love him. They chant Joe, Joe, Joe. Joe is going to kill you. When they put Wardlow with them, it was a disaster. It was doomed to begin because no one is going to not cheer Joe. No matter who he turns on, no matter what he does, people cheer for Joe. So what happened here? They gave you the underdog guy who probably didn't deserve the title shot, didn't want to quit. He was way above his weight grade. And unlike AEW, who normally makes every match 25 minutes of back and forth and 50-50 offense, no, Hook was getting the shit kicked out of him. Yes, did it expose that he could only do 4 moves? Yes, it did. But Hook was mostly getting the shit kicked out of him. He had a couple of hope spots, and then Joe killed him, and then he killed him again unnecessarily, and he had to get rescued by Adam Page. And what did they do here? People were cheering for Hook, and people were actually booing Joe. So you actually turned the booking nightmare into someone that people are finally going to boo. So I actually consider this to be a booking success due to the storytelling.
Hook is the only person I can actually think of that has less moves than John Cena.
Don't care.
The term "hell froze over" happened so much last year in this month of December and November. CM Punk returning, Samoa Joe winning the World Championship, Evil Dose returning to Unpopular Review, Excellence, better known as the executive consultant, giving him praise for talking about Deonna Purrazzo last week. I'm going to do it again. Everything he said was 100% accurate. I actually had no problem with this match. I thought it was fine. I thought it was perfectly fine. I thought the match was good. I thought it did very well for Samoa Joe. I thought it did very well for Hook. I couldn't give 2 craps about Hook before this match, right? But he took that ass whooping.
You care now?
I care more about him now than I did before. Yes.
Why?
He took that ass whooping like a man. He took that ass whooping like a man. He dished it out. He actually looked like a
He got
threat.
beat like a redheaded
He
stepchild. What do you
told a
mean?
story in the match. That's what I like in my wrestling.
Oh.
Not just go around there and Hurricane Rana and do flips and Canadian destroyers and stunners the entire match. He went out there and told a story in that match. I'm a young, up and started kid. I'm a tough son of a bitch. I know you're bigger than me. I'm going to take it to you. You're going to beat me up. I'm going to keep coming back up, and I'm going to try. You're going to have to practically kill me in order to keep me from proving my worth.
But
That's
how
what the
many
story
Superman punches can you have in one match?
You're talking to me about how many Superman punches you can have in a match, and you watch AEW on a regular?
Oh, no.
How many cutters and super kicks can you have in a match?
Mr. Roman Reigns over here is going to talk to me about Superman.
Roman Reigns gets more people into arenas and stadiums and into matches
Oh,
than
I'm not
anybody
arguing
you have in AEW right now.
I'm not arguing that.
Mhm.
Listen. Another thing that I wanted to touch on earlier that we
Mhm.
didn't was
Mhm.
I think it's unnecessary to do Canadian destroyers every single show. I think it
Mhm.
diminishes the move. I don't
agree.
understand why they do the exact same moves constantly, repetitively, over and over and over again that you never see. They're
Mhm.
supposed to be big moves. You don't need to do them every show, every match. I think it's stupid, but that's what they do. But I'm just saying, I didn't see the appeal with Hook. I just didn't see it. I think Hook is a good talent. I just think he was not ready for this match. And obviously, I think that's what they were going for. And it showed. He did take he didn't look bad in the loss, but I really believe Hook was exposed for being so behind the 8 ball right now.
I don't see it. I see a WWE tryout video. Is what I see. He'll be in NXT before the end of the year.
Good riddance.
I don't know about any of that. I don't really care about any of that, to be frank with you. I don't want to see him in NXT, but AEW fans like him. They think they have like a heartthrob kid. They've got 6 too many of them already. But I said what I said. I think this match, the mission was accomplished, and I think it was vindicated. It was basically an elongated squash match, which is what it was supposed to be done. And I think it was actually whoever the agent was, even if it was Tony Khan. Excellent job. Chef's kiss. I think it was near perfect, except for being a little bit too long. And then Hangman Page came out. It looked like Hangman was going to turn on Hook and do the Randy Savage thing, but he didn't. And then Swerve was just sort of looking in the crowd, menacingly, I suppose, or maybe emo-y. But
Yep.
That's why I'm sure it's going to be a triple threat. Thank you for correcting me on that one. That is a little embarrassing. But I do think we're heading towards a triple threat at Revolution. But yeah, I don't know. I thought was probably the best match of the night based on the totality of the circumstances as to what it was supposed to be doing. I mean, I think that the trios match was actually a better match and something more for my enjoyment, but but it didn't feel like it meant anything. It felt very unimportant.
You thought that was the best match of the night.
Yeah, but I don't watch wrestling for, like, you and Z watch wrestling for, like, the in-ring art form. Listen, I don't go to dance recitals. I'm not interested in the skill of the dancers. Now, you have a bunch of backup dancers doing great moves and Beyonce's singing in front of them, then I'm interested. But without the singer, without the star, without the story, without the character to be there, it's just dancing. And after a few moves, I'm bored. I don't care. I don't care if they shake their booties and what moves they do. Not interested. But, so I'm sorry. That's what wrestling is. Wrestling is 3 prongs: characters, storylines, and wrestling. I don't care how, but I can tell you that the wrestling is probably the least important of those 3 prongs. But even the most diehard person should think that they're co-equal at best. But I will tell you that the wrestling is least important. And how do I know this? Because I acknowledge him.
Acknowledge who?
There's only one person needs to be acknowledged.
It's your tribal chief.
What's wrong with you?
And
you know what?
We don't have enough time.
All kudos to another Samoan named Joe tonight, who's a world champion. Good job, man. Everything was good. Well done.
The tribal chief. Highlight Z's comments. I can read it. And I didn't read it yet. So apparently you can see the story being told in ring. You missed the most important part. Even wrestlers themselves say this is comical.
I don't care about
See,
what the Mark Tards say about themselves. This is like Shelley Long leaving Cheers because
it
she
needs. Go ahead, mention
yeah,
Cheers.
she felt like she wasn't being artistically challenged. Well, guess what? She begged for jobs the rest of her life. This is a business.
So
It's
people
show
always
business.
remember Kirstie Alley now.
That's right.
So I completely agree with Jeff again, because the bottom line is wrestling is storyline and wrestling is storytelling, and that is important. That's why most of the time the people talk more about the matches with the hard-hitting story as opposed to just flip.
But the
That's all
build
it's fine.
was better for the. I mean, obviously the build was
There's
better.
no build.
For the match. They had a small build.
The
They had a
build was
small
Samoa.
build.
The build was in the story. The story is Samoa Joe wants to be a fighting AEW champion to kind of rinse off what MJF did to the title, so to speak. Not saying it was bad, but this is his perception. So he goes out there and he takes all coming challengers. Hook was an unlikely challenger. Hook and him did business, and I thought it was very good business. I was impressed. That's all I'm saying.
Mike Tyson is the most famous and most successful boxer of all time, not because of the sweet science, but because there was a pretty good chance you were getting a first round knockout. And that's just the way of the world. Ain't nobody in the world gonna tell you that Floyd Mayweather was a more interesting boxer than Mike Tyson. Sorry.
No, I mean,
Muhammad Ali might have an argument with that.
You know what? But
different
I think
generation.
the most people who say that didn't live through both of them, to be frank with you.
That's also possible, but I would say
Muhammad Ali
close.
told great stories and had a great charisma, a wonderful character. So he actually was the perfect. He had all three. He was, I don't know, maybe Shawn Michaels. That kind of has all three of the prongs are there.
Well, Muhammad Ali did something a little different. I think he was more of the groundbreaker for I don't want to say he was the Jackie Robinson of boxing, but it feels that way to an extent.
Well, I mean, it's more of an analogy than, Muhammad Ali did some extremely important things at extremely important times and made some really hard choices. So
every sport has this around where you're talking about. You can go Kobe and Michael Jordan, or LeBron and Michael Jordan and basketball. There's Joe Namath, Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady in football. I mean, there's a lot of different characters and ways you can go. But in the world of wrestling, this is where you are. But hey, still, what a time to be alive. I thought this AEW Dynamite show was actually pretty good. I'm not going to try to jump the gun on purpose, but I'm going to give it a solid B. I thought it was a good show. I actually did enjoy it. Shout out to Tony Storm.
For booking purposes and long-term storytelling. Yeah, I mean, we can go B. We can go B. Some parts felt C worthy. And I feel I'm being extremely critical of this show, even though I am the biggest AEW fan here.
On this episode, yes.
And someone has to. And this episode didn't necessarily do it for me, but it wasn't bad. I think the bar was set so high a long time ago for me that I'm just not seeing what I want or what I'm used to out of AEW. But they did do some good things with some younger talent and getting them more involved. They advanced some storylines. They're building some storylines, and they're really building the road to Revolution. So for the fact they're building Revolution, I enjoyed the show.
I thought there were about 5 parts of this show that were decent to good. I thought most of it was dreadful, and that's why for the second week in a row, it's earning a D from me, but I will give it a D+, because I remember last week being worse, but I'm not even sure if that's exactly correct, but I feel peer pressured into giving it a D+, which is just above failing.
Yeah, I'm going to go and disagree with you. I thought today's show was actually really, really good. But hey, that's your opinion. You give it a D. I don't see where it's that bad, but that's fine. D+.
So guys, let's do some parting shots here. Chris, 30 seconds.
That's how long it's going. Oh, for me?
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell you about the what we have here on Unpopular Review starting tomorrow. Tomorrow we have the next Friday movie review on Thursday at 8:00 p.m. TNA show might happen tomorrow, might start next week, but we are going to start doing a TNA review show. On Friday, we have the husband and wife review show. with Power Book 3, Season 3, Raising Canaan. That is with Mike Knox and his lovely wife, Amira. On Saturday, Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. Stay tuned on to your Instagram and Twitter feeds to find out what time we're going to do that for Saturday. But eventually, that's going to turn into a SmackDown-only show with Zeta Silent and Vic. On Saturday night, we have AEW Collision review. Looking forward to that one coming up in a couple of days. And on Monday, coming up sooner or later, on the Monday Night Raw after the Royal Rumble, we're going to do the Raw Watch Along with myself, all 3 hours of Raw with live reactions. And on Monday, it's going to be a long episode. Monday, Mike Knox Show, Monday at 6 o'clock. Looking forward for that. The show for the intelligent wrestling fan. On Tuesday, the 40-Year-Old Virgin on Popular Review Entertainment, reviewing that, one of my favorite movies. And NXT, immediately after NXT with Bad Guy Jack and the Wrestling Doll. Also, every day, new show, UPRE Wrestling Shorts with Big Daddy Cool and the Executive Sultan. Every single day we'll drop a new one. One just came out, so go and check that out on Unpopular Review Wrestling on YouTube.
Evil Dose. Please
Wow.
try and
On
do
that
real
Hall
30
of
seconds.
Fame graphic, I see my arch nemesis, rest in peace, Lonnie Poffo, but still my arch nemesis. You know what you did, and you know what happened. So anyway, as far as everything, on Twitter, you can follow, or X, at IcarusFellMD. Aside from here, you can find me with other UPR hosts, Big Daddy Cool Steve Pena and Bad Guy Jack Ron Jackson. We do the Hammerlock Hangover Wrestling Podcast. You can find it wherever fine podcasts are. And my non-wrestling podcasts are Garden of Doom and Garden Views. But don't worry. Just subscribe to Garden of Doom and you get Garden Views. Garden of Doom is sort of a theosophy, mythology, cryptids, UFOs, things that go bump in the night, history, alternative history, a little bit of culture and things like that. Garden Views tends to be more legal science, but things that have a broad-based interest level. And also look for me on a show called The Paranormal Guys. I've been on once before, and we recorded a show where what happens legally, and we try to analyze this as seriously as possible, if you shoot and kill a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch. So that was sort of interesting. Anyway, that's where you can find me, and I like to be found. So you can also find me on Facebook, of course, and both Hammerlock Hangover and Garden of Doom both have Facebook pages, not groups, but pages.
All right. And I'm Dan the Man. You can find me here every Wednesday night right after Dynamite. I will bring you the hard, honest truth on how AEW did. You can also find me on Collision for Saturdays from time to time. And we will be back here with our other co-host, Vincent LaSpada. Can I be frank, Vincent LaSpada? Wow. Next week. And we're going to lay into this guy because he did not show up and we are not happy. And we need some Can I Be Frank? So on that note, we're going to send you off. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, subscribe, hit the button, tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your grandma, tell your cousins, tell the whole family. Let's get more subs here, guys. Let's get more people watching. Let's get going here. Let's get crazy. Let's get wild. We want to thank you. Have a great Wednesday night, and we will see you next week.
Stay with my friends.